what Diary of a Nutritionist is a space where we have conversations with nutritionists who from across Kenya and hopefully Africa. We share stories about our journey in this field of nutrition. We talk about our challenges, our successes, and what it is that we are doing for us to be able to thrive when others are choosing to just step out of the field because of one reason or another. So welcome. So tell us who you are, what you do. Yeah, in a nutshell.
Thank you so much, Karen, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Nduta. My background is in food science, nutrition, and dietetics. I am really passionate in the areas of nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I have majored in, having been attached at different hospitals, them being Radiant Group of Hospital as well as Kiambu Level 5 Hospital. I recently graduated from the University of Nairobi. And that's a brief about me. But on work experience, I am currently a research associate intern with Mr. Analytics Group. I work remotely utilizing food as medicine, and my work there is to conduct research, content creation, among many others. Thank you.
So what prompts you to choose this course, or is it something you always wanted to do?
Wow, thank you for the question. I came to know about nutrition while in high school.
Okay.
I went to Mary Hill Girls High School. It's in Thika. And that's the first time I came to know there is a course known as nutrition. I think we had one student who was coming back. She told us she's pursuing nutrition, and I think that stuck. But my long dream has always been to be a doctor. So even in high school, I remember going for a short volunteership in my local dispensary. I think I was there for like a week, working in the pharmacy area. It was so amazing, and I was like, I really want to work in the hospital. So that's where it all started. And even when we selected courses, my dream course was actually clinical medicine. But as fate would have it, with our cooks, I was placed in nutrition. Nutrition was my second choice. So at the time, I really didn't know a lot about nutrition, but there was a contract I was on where I was working. I don't know if you remember Huduma Number.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I worked with Huduma Number after completing my high school. So one of the people we were working with was a nutritionist, and I will ask so many questions. So what do you do? What do you study? And I will hear, oh, you study anatomy, physiology, and I was so excited. I was like, there is medicine in nutrition.
Yeah.
So I settled on that choice. And got into nutrition at the University of Nairobi. And I don't know if you have heard the myths that are there, that you will do nutrition, but there are no jobs for you. So I at some point in my first year I was discouraged, but then in second year I got to know that you're a star, you'll eventually shine. And that I always love to say that cream rises to the top. So at the top, there is space for you. You won't lack jobs if you're efficient, if you do your best, if you're knowledgeable. So that's where everything started. I became really resilient, aggressive, going for opportunities, seminars, attending summits, conferences, and given that I was student, most of these opportunities were sponsored.
What helped you was a lot of intentionality, right?
Yes. I was really intentional in programs I will participate in. In my third year, during our long holiday, so after the 2 months for our attachment, I went on a program known as Agroecology and Agrobiodiversity training course. uh, where we were different campus students from different countries. We had some from Uganda. Got to learn and see in depth, you know, more of sustainable agriculture, organic farming, and that was the opportunity that led me to actually join research, because we did a lot of research in the drylands, and that's what's actually contributed to me being a researcher currently.
What skills do you think are the most important for someone who maybe might be interested in doing the work you're doing? What skills are these that you've developed along the way that have helped you to get work as a researcher?
Thank you so much. Some of the skills I can say, I just mentioned about being intentional. You really need to be intentional about what you want and where you want to go. Job hunting doesn't start after you complete campus. It starts when you actually start your course. As a student, I always say that that is a very you're very privileged to have that title, since you can knock some offices that normally you can't after you have completed school. They will easily accommodate you if you want to learn, if you want to grow. So being intentional is very important. Being knowledgeable is very key. I say that data is king, and since nutrition is a science, science keeps evolving. Every moment, every day, every time, science keeps changing. You can't rely on only what you're learning in the classroom. You go to YouTube, learn, uh, go to research articles, you made research get to see what is happening there, you know, and that will open up your mind to so much more. And another thing I can say is seek out mentors. They'll be able to advise you, to help you, you know, and even invite you to some of these conferences, some of these summits, where you'll get to network, to get to learn. So take whatever you're doing seriously. Be consistent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I can say for now.
So, what is it that made you stand out? Because in a previous conversation, you mentioned that it is them, your current employers, are the ones who came seeking you out.
I believe one of the things that's really contributed was my LinkedIn profile.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember opening up my LinkedIn profile during the Corona season. I think I was in my second year. I didn't know what to do, but then later in my third year, I started working on it, trying to post one or two things, see how things are going. And by the time I was completing last year, I was doing really well. I had known what is going on, how to do some things on LinkedIn, and I knew how to sell myself, you know. So after going for that opportunity, for that program, it was about a month-ish program. I came, wrote about it, writing all my ideas, and through that program, I got an opportunity to go to museum during the Indigenous Food Fair. I will network, and I got to meet a person who then recommended me to a researcher. So that researcher sought me out, and we started working with him on creating data sheets on medicinal plants and trees. And I really grew from there. I started to know things to do with citation, how to develop a data sheet. I will note that even in my on my LinkedIn profile, in my work experience. And little did I know that when I would update that I've gone to this conference, that I'm doing this, someone was watching. My current employer, who is known as Shekita. She's also my mentor. So Shekita reached out to me. We scheduled some time. We had a conversation, and we got to know more about each other, what she's doing. So from that experience, during the end, towards the end of the meeting, she told me, "Okay, I have an opportunity for you. If you're open to it, please let me know." She gave me some time to think about it, and yeah, I saw it was a really an amazing opportunity. I have also
Mhm.
grown from there, knowing how to do literature reviews and so many things. So be careful. People are watching whatever you're doing. Yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah.
what is your typical day like? A day in the work life of a researcher.
Thank you so much. As a remote researcher, work is really interesting because you're working from home. I wake up early. I am a morning person, so most of the
Okay.
work I do it early. So I can wake up at 5, 5 latest. Let's say I wake up, do my devotion, journal, and all that. Get ready. I set up time at 8 a.m. That's
Mm-hmm.
when I start working. So and what I do the previous day, I do my to-do list, and that's what guides me during the next day. We have a lot of fatigue with thinking, what will I do? What am I supposed to do? Now you start
Mm-hmm.
wasting time. So there are
Okay.
some of the things I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
For example, it's sharing nutrition content on LinkedIn. So I also schedule that. If I have some tasks I need to complete that day, to catch up with the deadlines, I have that noted somewhere, and some of my short, small projects. So most of my work I do it between 8 and 2 p.m., and then I am free to do other things. Let's say working out, chores after that. And normally, when we have our meetings, because of our time difference, our meetings are normally in the evenings at 5 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. at times. So yeah, that's the rough idea of how my day looks like. So happen to do other things. That's why I finish working on everything I need to do. Screen time, I schedule my LinkedIn posts, work on the scientific content I'm supposed to review, do reports. I do that during the morning hours. After that, I am free. I also do a lot of mentorship. So I get to talk to people, get to see how they are doing. Some of them are students, you know,
Okay.
and I'm really passionate about that. So that's when I can schedule in some time and do that.
Okay.
And something really interesting about research is that you are the one to manage your time. Nobody's telling
Mm.
you do this at this time. No, unless let's say you have meetings or retreats or anything like that. So it's really flexible, allowing you to work on other things that you need to work. And my other interesting hobby is baking. So I do a bit of baking.
Mm-hmm.
I do assorted cookies and queen cakes. That really helps me when I feel like I am going through a burnout.
Okay.
So another thing will be self care. So self care is really, really important. After a hectic day or a rough season, you need to know how to recharge yourself. So I normally recharge myself. I work out, journaling. I also take care of my hair. I don't know. That's a hobby for me. I love
Okay.
making my hair, watching movies. It helps me relax, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
because you're using a lot of your time on the screen, you need to break that and find activities that are away from the screen. So
Sharp
yeah, that's
on what kind of research you do.
most
Yeah.
of the research is on food as medicine.
Okay.
That is focused on the gut microbiome and the importance of taking care of your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Given that the gut microbiome has potential or for immunity, that's what we normally focus on as Mr. Analytics. So we focus also on colon cancer, and other non-communicable diseases, looking on how to slow down or to prevent some of these diseases. It's really sad that a lot of this nutrition knowledge is being misrepresented. We have so many myths than truths. So, and given that the term nutritionist is not shielded, or I can say sheltered, it's not
Protected.
regulated.
Anyone can own it.
Yeah, anyone can own it. You
Yeah.
know, when someone loses some kilograms because of taking just fruits, now they're recommending that you take fruits only, you know, a fruits only diet, and they make a career for themselves with that. It's also sad that we have some nutritionists who don't also carry out research. They give the outdated, you know, nutrition knowledge from
Information. Yeah.
2000s when we had the textbooks, you know.
Yeah.
But research is really important in our day-to-day lives. We need to sit as nutritionists, keep on researching and adding on to the information. We shouldn't have the basic knowledge. I had a really amazing encounter at Radiant Hospital where my supervisor, known as Anne, she taught me one important lesson I have never forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
She was very knowledgeable. That's why I got to even learn the importance of researching. So it's good to research why you are telling your patient to do whatever they are doing. You tell them take more vegetables because vegetables have a lot of fiber. This fiber will help you feel fuller for longer, you know.
Mm.
And when you
So
feel
outlining the benefits. Yes.
yeah, you're breaking it down for them.
Yeah.
I remember when we had a conversation with you, and I told you one of my desires in the areas of nutrition is to give nutrition knowledge in a very simplified way that even a child who is in lower primary can be able to understand
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever you are telling them. Now, when you break down this information for them, it becomes easier for them to adhere since they know the consequences. They understand why they need to do whatever they need to do, and it makes it easier for them to also report back to you and say, you know, I have not been following your meal plan because of this and this. How can we work on that? Rather
Mm.
than avoid yourself in their shoes, experience what
Yes.
they're experiencing, and then you'll be able to report to them. But you cannot do that if you don't research, if you don't know why you're telling them whatever you're telling
True. True. You mentioned that you are working on medicinal plants. If someone is interested in getting that kind of information, a repository of that information, how would one go about that?
So this information, you can get it online. You just search by Biovision. Biovision focuses on agroecology. So when you go online, you search for medicinal plants and at Biovision, you'll be able to access them. So
Okay.
Biovision came up with this strategy to also help the farmers and also educate us on nutritional needs, on plants, and so many other areas.
What has been your experience with our governing bodies in nutrition? So that would be KNDI and our union, KUNAD.
My experience with KNDI is good. It's nice that we have a board that is looking out for our needs, but I think more work needs to be done in making our lives easier. For example, the much debated issue of paying our interns, you know, who are working at the hospitals.
Mm.
That is something really important that we need to find a way. You know, you cannot work for 1 year. It's free. Going to work every day. It's full time. I understand the importance of experience, but making someone to work for 1 year free, and they're the only healthcare professionals who are not being paid at the hospital. Our clinical
Mm.
medicine interns are paid, nurse interns, doctors. You know, it really isn't fair. So even providing a small stipend will be fare in that case, maybe to cater for lunch and transport, because you're already providing free service. You understand? So I
Yes.
think that's something that needs to be improved. On Kunad, Kunad is doing a really good work. They have been pushing KNDI to facilitate that, and it's it has it has worked. I think for the interns who were there in 2017, that case is still continuing.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I think they have halted our internships,
Yes.
and people are just doing the examinations because of that case. So we need to find a solution for that, where a nutritionist can have that experience, but they don't feel that they are at a disadvantage simply because they are pursuing nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
I have interacted with interns, and they will feel really bad. We are there with our clinical medicine interns. They're also doing the same job, good job, but then they're not remunerated. So that is somewhere I think we can pull our socks, have discussions, and see how to go about that.
And
Yes.
among the key things that you have mentioned about our field is that anyone
Mhm.
can call themselves a nutritionist, and there's nothing much that
Mhm.
can be done. So these people, like recently, I was part of our WhatsApp group where I saw people with lived experiences. So, talking about reversing diabetes, and they were very keen on having their counterparts, so people who have diabetes and other NCDs, non-communicable
Yes.
diseases, onto a keto diet. So they are calling it a three-pillar thing. How can we be able to verify that this person who's giving me this information has uh, medical backing? And how would you, if it was you in a position to create these changes, how would you go about this?
A really interesting question. First of all, when we speak about it broadly, a nutritionist title is not regulated, not just in Kenya, but worldwide. Yeah? Our only regulated title is the dietitian title. But the sad fact is that our normal mananchi don't know who a dietitian is, and people know nutritionists. They don't know dietitian. So I think that's some there can be policies to filter out these people who are just some are scammers. Some of these scammers, others are really genuine. They want to help people because it has
Yeah.
worked for them.
Mm,
Maybe these people can go through some certification,
mm,
and have a title. So I believe that is something that can be done. On issues to do with diabetes, reversing diabetes using the ketogenic diet, it is something that I have been researching on broadly, and to be honest, there are areas where it has shown that it is working, that
yes.
it's something that is actually working.
Mm,
So having a low carb diet, exercising, and I've I've forgotten the other thing. So
it's
when you combine,
intermittent fasting.
yeah, it's intermittent fasting. Thank you. So combining those three has been shown that they're giving really good results. And
True.
as nutritionists, I think something that we can take is to try and learn from people who it's working for them, and try to get these secrets, try to see what is happening, because I believe we are nutritionists, and we shouldn't allow our patients to be using medicine, because some of these things can be reversed by
Yes,
diet.
that is true.
Even our doctors agree, but because there is a lot of politics in even the issues of nutrition versus pharmacy,
Yeah.
uh, there are a lot of limitations still. But I believe these are areas we need to look into and dig further,
Mm-hmm.
do some trials and research to
Mm-hmm.
see how efficient they are.
Okay. So between Conad and KNDI, who do you think has the responsibility of trying to tame, or rather put some order in our sector?
I think it's the KNDI. That is the work of the board to regulate. So I, as Kunad is just our union, but that responsibility I feel belongs to the KNDI who are regulating. I can say some of the benefits of KNDI is getting from us is each year we have to renew our license, right?
Yeah.
So what is that? How is that money being used? These are some of the ways that this money can be used for. Protecting our names, ensuring that we are guarding our patients, because I don't think everyone needs to be called a nutritionist, to be honest. It degrades us. I have done a 4-year course, but then someone who has done a 1 week webinar, we are all nutritionists. So what differentiates us? You
Mm,
understand?
I do, I
So
do.
we really need to be strict. And as nutritionists, we need to pull our socks and get into the research area, research, and be very knowledgeable. That even when you go for the ward round, you're giving the points. You're telling the pharmacist, no, we cannot give that medicine because that has calcium. This is what will happen. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to rise to the top. As I said, cream always rises to the top. We need to
To
be
the
the
top.
cream and rise. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Um, so back to you. Where would you say you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Thank you for the question. Um, Something I forgot to mention is that I'm currently a founder. We are working on launching a state of the art daycare center.
Okay.
More information will be given soon, but that is what we are working on. And uh, through that project, we were able to get some funding, some seed funding, and we are still sourcing for more funding because I believe that nutrition is very important also for our children, because that's where
Yes.
everything starts. The issue of the first 1,000 days of life. And one of the things that we identified as young nutritionists in school is that the issue of nutrition in our daycares is something that is being swept under the rugs, and we need to focus more on that. So that is what we are doing as CareLink daycare services. We are training nannies. We want to be providing this nutrition and monitor nutrition, especially for our young children.
Mm.
By doing that, we're also supporting our mothers. So that is my project for the next coming years. We are working
Okay.
to make sure that we launch it and that
Okay.
it becomes successful. Other than that, I also desire to pursue masters and increase my knowledge on areas to do with non-communicable diseases. We have
Mm-hmm.
talked about reversing diabetes. I'd
Yeah.
like to look more into that and see how possible that is. Yes.
Thank you for your time, Grace, and I look forward to a continued conversation. Um, Maybe we'll pick up from here and you might share a few insights you're gaining from your research or from your experience. But I truly want to appreciate you for your time, for sharing your story. You're doing a great job. You are intentional and you get innovative. Yeah. So thank
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. It has been a really an awesome conversation. And as you have said, we have so many opportunities in the area of nutrition. You rise to the top. We have a lot of space. The cake is enough for everyone. And I wish every nutritionist all the best in their endeavors. Bye bye.